Hello all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining my software testing tutorial video series. This is the fourth video in the software testing tutorial. I have developed this tutorial for my uh, interns who are going to join and want to get a brief introduction about software testing before actually they start their internship. Those who wanted to gain internship or knowledge, they can also watch my videos. As I mentioned in my previous videos, I have started internship for MySys IT Services PT Private Limited, and have various roles, and manual tester is also one of the role. And those who want to actually gain experience on manual testing roles, they can join my internship. How many to software developed, and one of the software site is software.com, which has a list of software listed in this site, and then you will get an opportunity to do a testing on the softwares, and then get exposure to testing, and then become a reviewer, and then you can also be listed your name so that you can claim your software testing experience. So if you are interested, join my internship, and if you and connect me at or send mail at submit at MySys for further discussion, or you can connect me in LinkedIn VMR, and then you can give a direct message so that we can actually discuss on the internship starting. So currently I'm offering a 1 month free internship, and followed by a paid internship where you need to pay the money of 3,500 for a 3 months internship, and each 3 months extension another 3,500. So it will be very useful for you to actually gain a testing experience, and then claim as a software tester, and then submit it as an experience. I will also give internship certificate from MySys IT Services PT Private Limited. It is a registered company. Okay, then let us move back to our tutorial. So till now we have discussed about software testing introduction, testing principles, software development life cycle, and software testing life cycle, and the types of testing, and levels of testing, and levels of maturity model. And in the software development life cycle, we have discussed briefly about the development life cycle models. So in this, we will actually go through the SDLC models, as described in javapint.com. So as we discussed, it is a waterfall model, and then as waterfalls, it is a top-down approach, and then it will start with the requirements collection, feasibility study, design, coding, testing, installation, and maintenance, and one output of one phase will become input to the next phase, and then it will move on till and it is a sequential, and then it will be executed in a sequential order. So as we discussed, requirements collection is the first phase of the waterfall model, where business analysts will assemble all the information or business needs of the client in the form of requirement document, and this document should be clear and easy to understand, and all the requirements are correctly listed. See, my experience. Okay, so what will happen is, customer gives a one-line requirement. Okay, so what will happen is, we will actually have a lot of discussions with the customer, and then stakeholders, and then technical architects, or customer users, what are their requirements, what is the dependency. So all those frequent meetings will be scheduled, and then they will also create a software requirement specification, customer requirement specification, business requirement specification. All these documents are generated. Okay, and then this SRS document covers the whole shifting, all the thing that they should be developed and designed. Okay, features of functional requirements, it should be written in simple language, and can be easily understandable. The specification should be in a proper flow, right? And then requirement should be countable. Okay, you should actually count, and you should be able to do it. So waterfall model, as you see, right, requirements input given to the feasibility study, and then to the design, to the coding, to the testing, to the installation, and to the maintenance. So that is the, so feasibility study is part of the requirements or requirements phase. Okay, requirements analysis phase. So the feasibility study is based on the needs of the project, where many people, human resources, business analysts, architects evaluate whether the project can be done or not. To develop a good project, we should follow various characteristics and which are based on the customer requirements. So we also need to see, okay, the aspects of legal. Okay, can the company handle the project as a cyber law and monitoring the agreements? Technical, check whether the available machine supports the software or not. Operation feasibility, the company should be able to generate operation that is given by the clients. Economic, should the company able to complete the product within the given budget or not? Schedule, right, the project should be done within the given schedule or not. Okay, so that is actually done in the feasibility study, right? And then the next phase in the feasibility in the waterfall model is a design. Okay, so once we are done with the feasibility study, we have the SRS document. Okay, then we move into the next stage, that is a design. In this, we create the architecture of the product with the help of some essential tools like a combination of different softwares and hardware, various programming languages such as PHP, Java, database like MySQL, Oracle, and then design, designer gets ready with the plan for the application that could be classified into two different types. One is a high-level design document and a low-level design document. In this, the designer will concentrate only on models such as design trees, flows, design decision trees, flow charts, data dictionary. The architect, okay, does it. Low level design is like what is it? What is the parameters? How the UI look like, and then what is the input parameter and what is the output parameter, and all those things will be designed in this low level design document. Coding. So once we are done with the design document, we are ready to develop the application. For this, the developer will start writing the code based on their programming language knowledge, and it could be any language such as Python, C, Java, or C sharp, or whatever, C plus plus, whatever identified during the analysis phase, right? Whereas the backend developers will do the backend coding based on the needed operations. Front-end developers will develop the UI, and the mobile developers will do the mobile app developers. Okay, and network team will do the networking programming. So all these are done, and they do the unit testing, and then the tested unit tested code will be given to the testing team. This is the phase where your role plays a significant role as a manual tester or automation tester. After the compilation of coding, it will be handed over to the concerned test engineer team, and after that the test engineer will start testing the functionality of the application based on the client requirements. Here you will actually see, okay, system testing and user acceptance testing. Okay, or functional testing. While testing the application, there are many, they may encounter some defects or bugs, and okay, or not working as per the client's needs in the application, and send those bugs to the developer with the proper justification, and developer will verify that the given bug is valid or not. If it is correct, it will be fixed by the developer and change with the new one. After that, the tester will retest and verify that. We will actually see the entire flow again, and then we will actually come back in the testing phase, all our defect, and what is the defect life cycle and all those things. Installation. So once the application is tested, we will move to the next phase, next stage, that is installation. In this, the process will remain until the software is stable or bug free and fulfill at all the customer requirements. When the application is stable, it will install into the client's environment for use. After getting the software, the clients will perform one round of testing to their satisfaction. If they face an error, they will inform the development team to resolve those issues for a particular application. When all the issues get resolved, application will be deployed for the end user use. So we discussed the maintenance phase also. Once the product is developed, deployed to the customer, and gone into the production, then it will go into the maintenance phase, and it will have its own SOW, statement of work, and it will be given to a different team, and that team will actually do the maintenance of the product, which includes environment maintenance and the software, hardware, and installation configuration, any issues and application issues. If there are any defects are raised, and defects will be verified and fixed and re-released to the maintenance. And if there are any new features also, new features will be taken as a change request, and they will have its own development cycle for change requests, and all defects and change requests combined will become a one release, and then it will be given to the test team, and test team will fix it and approve it. And once test team gives approval, then it will go to the user acceptance testing, and then it will go to the production release, as a release 1, release 2, release 3, release 4, like that. Okay. Um, Examples of waterfall model: human resource management, supply chain management, customer relationship management, customer relation management, and those kinds. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Let us understand. So, in the waterfall model, the requirements should be clear, because if you don't have a clear requirements, and then if you identify your requirements during the testing phase, then our we cannot go back and then rewrite the requirements. We have to, the entire phase will waste. Okay, entire development phase. So cons: this model has no parallel deliverables, which means that the two teams, can work together, right? You cannot do that. So it is suitable for small projects where needs requirements are well understood. The waterfall model doesn't provide the requirement changes and the requirement review. Okay, there are no requirement change request model or change model. So once you actually freeze the requirements, that's it. The product will be released. That's it. Otherwise, it will go back, and if you identify the requirement during the product during the user acceptance testing, then entire release is gone, and you will not be able to may reject the product, or the product may be not usable, and you have to go back and then recollect, and then spend more time to make this product more usable, right? This model is easy to understand as well as easy to use. Previously, when the waterfall is initiated, there is no concept of testing. That's why the developer is used to test the application as in earlier days. It will allow us to arrange the task efficiently, because we know the requirements initially, and it is a sequence. We will go smooth till the end, but sudden surprises will happen at the end. In between, changes are not allowed because one phase is dependent on the another phase. That is common. In this model, release level changes are allowed. Backward tracking is not possible. In this model, the procedure and the results are well documented. It is time consuming process. Okay. So let us understand. Hope you understand this. Waterfall model. Let us go to the next of the spiral model. So we actually touched upon earlier in the software development life cycle, but let us actually review that one more time. The biggest problem we face in the waterfall model is taking a long duration to complete the product, and the software become outdated. To solve this problem, there is a new approach which is known as a spiral model. The spiral model is also known as a cyclic model. In this model, we create the application model, but by model, and hand it over to the customer so that they can start using the application at a very early stage. And we prepare this model only when module is dependent on each other. In this model, we develop the application in stages, because sometimes the client gives the requirements in between the process. So requirements analysis, design, coding, testing, and risk analysis. Like this, it will actually move on, right? It will move on. Okay. So requirements analysis. The spiral model starts with collecting the business requirements. In this, the following spiral will include the documentation of system requirements, unit requirements, and the subsystem needs. In this stage, we will easily understand system requirements, because the business analyst and the client have a constant communication. Design. The second stage of the spiral model is design, and we will actually plan the logical design, architectural design, flowcharts, and decision trees. Coding. Okay, we will actually do the coding whatever we identified as part of the design, and the testing and the risk analysis. Once the development is completed, we will do the testing, and then we will analyze the risk of the software on the different aspects, such as managing risk, detecting and observing the technical. So example of spiral models, right? You know, uh, okay. This one I will actually see this because I make Excel sheet having several cells, which are all components of Excel sheet. Since we have to create the cell first, then we can perform the operation on the cell like a split shell of match cells. Major changes also will go through this. Okay, minor changes. Okay, so advantages, disadvantages. Advantages, let us go through. Flexible changes are allowed in spiral. The development can be distributed into smaller parts. The customer can use the application at early stage, and more clarity on developers and test engineers. It will provide the wide use of prototypes. It is not disadvantage. It is not suitable for the small and low risk product because it could be costly for the small project. It is traditional market. In a traditional market, thus developers only did the testing job. There is no requirement of review process and no parallel developers allowed in this spiral model. In this spiral model, management is a bit difficult. That is why it is complex process, and the maximum number of intermediate phases needs unnecessary paperwork. Let us move on to the next one. Okay, so let us see what is the hybrid model, which actually is the combination of models. Hybrid model is combination of two or more primary models and modifies them as per the business requirement. This model is dependent on the other software development life cycles, okay, such as spiral V and V prototype models. We go whenever we want to obtain the features of two models in a single model, and then the model is dependent and the customer is new to the industry. Okay, so spiral and prototype, V and V and prototype. Spiral and prototype, right? We actually, spiral, each spiral phase we will have a prototype, and then customer approvals will be actually taken and then taken it forward. Okay, so we go with V and V model when the customer wanted, our developers both are new to the industry, when the clients are expecting a very high quality product within the required time, and time, because each phase is tested and the developer testing team are working parallelly. So this is the V process model, and then each phase we have a a corresponding testing phase. Requirements phase will have a corresponding acceptance test cases are prepared. Design document, okay, corresponding test documents, test prototype defects, and okay, so these are actually prepared. Then the client reviews at the approved, and HLD, right, OLLD and LLD coding. White box testing is done here, unit testing, and then LLD functional testing is done. So HLD integration testing is done, right? So this is how this particular V and V process and prototype model is done. Okay, so you can go through this, and advantages. The hybrid model is highly flexible. In this model, the customer rejection is less because of the prototype. It is easy to implement because it has flexibility and synchronization. It is easy to apply, especially with the small and medium projects. In this, the development process will be smooth and quick because here we follow only one relevant process cycles. Early hybrid model is different from each other, does not follow usual standards. What is a prototype model? So the most significant disadvantage of previous models is that there were lots of customer rejection that happens after the application was developed, and there was no involvement of the customers. Okay, so they started a new approach is also known as prototype, and which will be given to the a prototype will be developed and shown to the customer, and then once they are actually okay with that, that will be taken it to the next level. Okay, so that is the prototype. So initially they take a small portion of requirements, and then they will actually do the development, and then it will actually taken into the next level. So the important thing is requirements analysis, feasibility study, create a prototype testing, customer reviews and approval, and then design, coding, testing, installation goes into that one. Okay, this is the early introduction of uh, our customer into during the prototype. Okay, uh, so we are following this rest of the phases are same, but this will be early to give it to the customer to get a defect, get early requirements, right? So advantage, we can easily detect the missing functionalities, and in this the development team and customer have a clear communication regarding the requirements and the outcome of the product. In this, customer satisfaction exists, and we can reuse the prototype in the design phase and for similar applications. In this model, customer rejection is less as compared to the other models. Issues can be identified in the early phase. And the disadvantages, it is time consuming process, because if the customer changes the prototype, and it will also waste of time by changing again and again in the dummy, which will actually delay the working of the real project. There is no requirement review, but a prototype review is there. There are no parallel deliverables, which means that the two teams cannot work together. And sometimes the partial application may cause the software not to be used as the complete system was designed. Insufficient or partial problem analysis, and we may also lose customer attention if they are not happy with the final product or original. Okay. So let us go into what is the V process model. Okay, V process model or V and V modification or verification and validation model. In this model, it is actually as a V shape shows, the tasks are done. Okay, in a V model. Okay, we'll see that in the example. Uh, yes, requirements, right? These are parallel. Okay, SRS and business requirement specifications are functional, and then we have seen, right, where is the, yeah. So this is the CRS, or then user acceptance testing will be created, and SRS, and then system testing document will be prepared. Okay, write acceptance test documents, write system testing documents, HLD, LLD, write integration testing documents, so review HLD, and then write integration testing documents and coding, write a function testing documents, and then the corresponding validation will do. So the first down is verification and then validation. Okay, so we will actually not go, we'll understand what is the advantages and disadvantages. In this, a review exists in the early phases. That is why we may get less number of bugs in the application. The V model provides in parallel deliverables, which implies that the two teams can work together like here. The development testing teams are working properly. This model helps to deliver robust and stable products. Okay, in this model, the test engineers have the more knowledge about the product, because the testing is involved in the every stage of the product. The text document can be reused. Disadvantage, it is a bit expensive process because initial investment is very high and the testing team is needed from the starting stage of itself. It is a time consuming process because of the requirement changes happens when need to change every text documents. In this, we need to do more documentation work because of the test cases and all the other documents. So V model is not suitable for object oriented projects, and we cannot go back and replace the functionality once the application is in the testing phase. Okay, so that is actually about the different models. I just want to touch upon another development model, which is Agile. Okay, it is there in the Agile Java point tutorial. I will just go through the overview of Agile. So Agile methodology is an iterative approach to software development. Each iteration of Agile methodology takes a short time of intervals to 1 to 4 weeks, and the Agile development process is aligned to deliver the changing business requirements. It distributes the software with faster and fewer changes. So the first single phase of software development takes 6 to 18 months, for example. In single phase development, all the requirements gathering and risk management factors are predicted initially. The agile software development process frequently takes the feedback of workable product. The workable product is delivered within 1 to 4 weeks of integration. So it will be like this. Okay, define code integrate test. In the iterative model only will go, but each uh, cycle will have its own ideas, test, define code, and then I1 iteration 1, review and adjust, then define code, test, and then iteration 2, review and adjust. So like this actually will go till the final software is done. So the roles in agile are scrum master is okay. These are there are two different roles. One is Scrum Master and Product Owner. The Scrum Master is a team leader and facilities provider who helps the team member to follow agile process so that the team member meets their commitments and customer requirements. The Scrum Master plays the following responsibilities, right? You can see cooperation between all the roles. They remove all the blocks which occur. They safeguard the team from any disturbances. They work with the organization to track the progress and process of the company. They ensure that agile inspects and adapt process are leveraged correctly, which includes planned meetings, daily stand-ups, demos, reviews, retrospective meetings, and team meetings and decision making process. Product owners. The product owner is one who runs the product from the business perspective. The product owner plays the following. He defines the requirements and prioritises the values. Usually it is from the customer side. He sets the release date and the content. He takes an active role in the iteration and release planning meetings. He ensures that the team is working on the most valued requirements. He represents the voice of the customer. He accepts the user stories and meets the definition of done and defined acceptance criteria. Cross-functional team. Every agile team consists of self-sufficient teams with 5 to 9 members. The average experience of each member ranges from 6 to 10 years. The agile team contains 3 to 4 developers, one tester, one technical lead, one scrum master, and one product owner. Scrum master and product owner are considered as the part of team interface. On the other hand, remaining members are part of technical interface. How the agile team plan their work. Agile methodology is not specific set of ceremonies or specific development techniques. Rather, it is a group of methodologies that demonstrate the commitment of tight feedback cycles and continuous improvement. So, agile team works in iterations to deliver the customer requirements, and each iteration takes 10 to 15 days. However, the original agile manifesto didn't set the time period up to 2 weeks iteration or annual team size. Okay, every 15 days, one cycle will go through user story A, user story B, user story C. Fixed time of 2 weeks. Okay, all these user stories are taken up, and then it will be implemented. So user requirement defines the requirements of the users of terms of functionalities. There may be of two types. One is as a user role, I want functionality so that business value. In order to the business value as a user role, I want functionality. So it is defined as a user story, estimate work, user story. When the requirement is completed, software acceptance criteria, prerequisites and audience and problems. So these are the actually in a way. So I will actually create a separate agile methodologies. How do we actually go through what are the various types of agile and what is scrum, and how the scrum master, what is the huddle, and daily stand up call, and how this will be executed. Okay, so that is all on the software development models. And your role as a tester, you need to understand the software models, and in which phase you are actually working in the development life cycle, and how you are actually tracking this. It can be a manual testing or it can be automation testing, but these are the things. Okay, so in the next video we are going to talk about manual testing, automation testing, and we also talk about rest of the topics if time permits. But that is actually what I want to convey in this video. And if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and if you want more explanation or more topics, give a comment. We will discuss that in our upcoming videos. And as I mentioned, I started an internship for the people who are in a final year or undergoing final year students, or you wanted to gain an internship, or who are actually in the who have completed engineering or their degrees and wanted to step into the testing career. They can actually contact me at submit@mysys.com, and or can connect me in LinkedIn as a VMR. Okay, so we can discuss on working you as a internship in many of the projects. One of them is software.com. You can come and get it and gain the experience from my portfolio projects. Thank you for watching, and then we'll discuss.